So today we're going to be installing these A-pillar ditch lights. This one's already on. We're going to do the one on the other side. The one on the other side is exactly the same way to put it on as this side. Okay, and then we're going to run the cables across, show you how to connect it to the battery, which is in the center, and then you pass it through to the inside for the button to turn them on and off. So first things first, on this F150 Lightning, we're going to open the hood. And inside here we've got all the stuff we're going to need to install the other light. We've got the light, the U-shaped bracket, which will go onto the light, the two screws that hold the light to the U-shaped bracket, the other screw that holds the bracket, holds the light to the bracket, and the bracket's going to go into the side in between the front fender and the windshield. So let's get going and putting this one on. So to start off, you're going to need a 13mm to undo the bolt that holds the hood up, the hood hinge. So down here, you have your front bolt here, and you've got exactly the same bolt, but just a little further back. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to undo that all the way. It's going to be easier for you to do it with a ratchet wrench instead of a manual one. So you get in, drop the wrench over the top. It's very limited space, that's why the ratchet's going to come in handy for you. Once you get it undone a bit, you can probably get your hand in and do it with your fingers. Once this is all the way off, don't drop it inside because you'll struggle to find it again. Don't worry about the hood coming down or anything, you've still got the front bolt in. So now we're going to take the bracket that comes in the kit. They're labeled L and R so you can't get them wrong, one for the right side, one for the left side. Drop your bolt through like this, and then you're going to feed it through the side of the fender and drop it back in. Okay, it's going to sit something like this. Once I get the bolt down inside here, start it off with your fingers. Always start it with your fingers, never start it with a wrench or something, just so you get the first couple of threads going on it. Get it as far down as you can with your hand. Get your wrench out again. Once you've got it tightened up, make sure that you're at a parallel line to the front fender, so the bracket's parallel with the front fender. You will notice that the rubber part of the front scuttle panel will bulge back a bit, but that will allow you access to run your cable in from your light that we're going to put on in a minute. Pull this off. You don't need this anymore. Now with your light, what you want to do first is you want to get the big bolt in. So the big bolt goes through and you've got this square nut on the back. So once it goes in, it won't be able to turn. If you have it slightly higher, it will be able to rotate. So that means you don't have to put anything on the back to hold it. Then I put the washer between the U-shaped bracket and the original bracket up here. Let's drop this on like this. Okay, and then just finger tight this. Now this nut here has what we call nylon on the inside, so we call it a nylock. So once it goes in, it will lock itself in and it won't come undone. So tighten it with your finger. Now unfortunately with the F150 you can't get a ratchet on here with a socket, so again you need to do it with a wrench. Now this is a 17 mil. Now we all get it the wrong way the first time, so here we go. Let's try it the right way around. Now you've got your basic bracket on the car to receive the light. So now with the light, I always put it so I have the logo of the light facing upwards. There's no logo on the bottom, the logo on the top. The one on the other side, I've already got the two lights on the top and the one on the bottom. So now we've distinguished which way the light goes up. We're going to drop the light on. Now these have a Torx 30 bit on the back side, so just get one of them in first. And these also have nylock on, so they won't come out. Once you've got them a couple of turns, finger tight again, get your screwdriver out. Tighten these guys up. So we've got to connect the two lights together and we've got to connect them up to the battery, and the battery's behind this center pod here. So you've got a negative and a positive in here. Let's put this off to one side. Now the easy way to get the cables from the lights down to the center, in the kit it comes with two extension cables, one for the left and one for the right. We're going to use these in a minute, but first of all we're going to take these off. So this one I've already half removed, so all of the clips, if you turn them so the clips are sideways on, the whole piece will come out like this. And then we'll do the other side, which I haven't even touched yet. Put this off to one side again. So this allows you access to all of the factory cabling, the fuse boxes and everything else that's in here. Now, when we run the cable down from the light, you want to be careful about the hood. So the hood's going to come down, so this thing's going to act like a guillotine down here. So you want to follow the factory cables, and if there isn't any factory cables like there isn't on the other side, we're going to go around this chassis arm down here, and we're going to come up from underneath, just so we stay away from all of this. Last thing you want to do is cut your cable in half. So these cables, they'll come like this, and we're going to drop it down on the inside. But first of all, before we do this, we're going to get the extension in, so we've got a bit longer to get down to the center. what I like to do is I like to roughly run it first and then tie up the cables afterwards, just in case I need to pull them off and I don't have to remove all the zip ties again. So this is going to come down here. It's going to follow these washer lines. We're going to come across the center. Come out down here. Again, just roughly round for the start off, just to make sure it's going to reach. Now this side, like I said earlier on, is a little harder because you don't have any cables coming down. None of the windshield washer jets or anything else are down here. So let's connect this up again to start with. Tuck this thing in. Now with this, we're going to have to probably come through here. Probably come through this hole down here or underneath. Oh, here we go. So you can actually just drop it round. Around this arm right here. And come out here. Now obviously these two have come up down from the lights as we've just seen, so in the wiring harness that you get given, there's one that says light 1 and light 2. So light 1 in my head makes sense to go to the left hand side, so that would go light 1 to the left. Make sure you hear it click, and then the light 2 to the right. Okay, so now all we got left to connect up is the switch that goes inside, which we'll connect up in a second, and then your power and your ground right here. Now for the power and the ground, we're just going to pick it straight up off the battery down here, and then we're going to run this back up to the switch that goes inside. So this is the switch that we ran earlier on inside. Again, just roughly ran for the right now, and then we're going to come back to it and we're going to tidy all this up with some zip ties and get it ran nicely with the other looms. But as long as you run it roughly with the looms to start with, you'll be fine, and you can just use those looms to zip tie too. So this is the grommet that I use to go inside. It's a little awkward to get to, but if you persevere with it a little bit, you'll be able to get through. So you'll notice there's a black plug on the top. It's molded to the actual grommet itself. So I just did a slight incision on the top and then ran the cable straight through the grommet. It comes out on the inside. It's very easy to get to. There's no under dash panel on this, and then this customer opted for a specialist mount for the switch. He didn't want to see anything, didn't want to drill into the dash. So now we're going to connect up the positive and negative to the battery over here. Ford, in all their wisdom, they've done an 11mm nut on the positive side and a 10mm nut on the negative side. So we're going to connect up the negative first. So let's just loosen it off. ground or the negative, whichever way you want to call it, on. And for the positive, we're going to go right here, and we're going to go through the back side of the rubber here. Otherwise, when you put it on, you'll see a cable come out the side. It would just look terrible. So we're going to start off by pushing this through this rubber grommet here and coming out the bottom. Then we're going to loosen the top. So now we've got the negative and the positive connected up. With all of the cables here, with pre-cut kits, you always end up with extra cables. So you just need to tie them up, put them out of the way as best you can. Obviously leaving access to your fuse just in case anything pops or anything. So once we got it in, we'll tuck it down into here, and there's a massive wiring loom down here. Drop some zip tie around it first. Now you've got this big wiring loom down here that we can tuck this down out the way. And zip tie it up to this loom. So earlier on in the video, we were talking about the rubber grommet where we ran the cable through for the switch on the inside. So this is the other side of that grommet. And you can see on the top side is where the cable comes through. And then if you follow the cable back, you'll see the switch up here out the way. Like I said, the customer didn't want to see anything. They didn't want anything visible. They didn't want to drill the dash or anything like that. So he opted to go up out the way under the dash. So now they're all installed, all there is to do is to test them and try them out. So at the moment they're off, so we'll turn them on. So here we are, we're all finished. Let us know what you think in the comments, and like, comment and subscribe. There'll be a load more videos coming on how to install stuff in the future.